Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be doing a video that I think should be exciting for beginner collectors and more advanced or long-time coin dealers, coin collectors, coin professionals, anybody involved with the numismatic industry. I've been a coin collector and dealer now for about 20 years, and that does date back to when I was about 4, looking at some modern circulating pennies with my dad, to working for some of the biggest names in the coin industry, and then launching my own business and continuing to manage that. So also super fun to have done all that in the context of having a YouTube channel where I get to chat coins. And I was thinking, I am so lucky because I found something that I really like doing, and I'm able to come at it from a bunch of different angles, but really kind of core focus is going to be buying coins for not too much and selling them for maybe a fair price where I'm able to split some of that difference. And so I think a lot of people get jaded over time as they work more and more with coins, and I found that to be the opposite in my case. And so without, I'm not going to reveal everything at the end of the video. I think it's really about having a growth mindset, and I'll try to talk you through a little bit of that. But I found that there are so many fascinating components about coins that it's just a massive universe where I feel like as time goes on, I realize how little I know. And I think that that's a really good thing, because I will admit, when I was 4, started collecting coins. When I was 13, got a job in a local coin store, the Happy Coin in Connecticut, working for Chris Moran, who's a fantastic guy. I'm going to see him at my wedding not too long from now. And then when I was 17, I started Treasure Town, making videos about my experience in that coin shop, sharing a lot of the knowledge that I had back when there was way less coin content on YouTube and broadly across social media. And then since then had also worked for Heritage Auctions, which was a fantastic experience, as well as managing the coin business that I run today. And so we sell tens of thousands of coins a year. It's really fun. And in that, there's been a lot of different pivots. So I think first, sort of starting in the content perspective, not everybody's going to go document their own journey collecting coins for the public to see. But I will admit that I think having that sort of research focus, I really started by doing coin roll hunting and making educational coin videos where I do research, put that in a PowerPoint presentation, and then do a screen recording and present that. And I still do that to some extent. I want to get back into that a little bit more, struggle to find the time. But I think that whole framework brought so much more to coin collecting. I think that it's different. It's fun, and I think that can be exciting to go buy, a coin collection. I think it's so fun to make a vlog out of it. I remember growing up watching Storage Wars, Pawn Stars, everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's, maybe you're turning $4,000 into $4,700 buying a coin collection, or maybe it's, $100 into $120. Those are more the deals that I was doing. But having the framework of research made it so much better. And I think a lot of that research was I'm going to go buy, I think I bought 10 or 20 pounds, was gifted by Chris Moran, the owner of that coin shop, that you could buy from somebody, of world coins. There's a little bit of silver mixed in, but he just kind of gave it to me. And so I would make these videos searching half a pound of world coins at a time. And I haven't been making those videos because I don't have that material, and it's really just, that was actually what I was given, and so it made for awesome content. But what I would do is say, okay, who is, Queen Wilhelmina, who I just unboxed a coin of the Netherlands from? Why is there a P mint mark on that? Oh, well, that's because in World War II, the Nazis took over the Netherlands, and America starts making coins at its mints in America. I can think of the S mint mark on its Commonwealth in the Philippines. I can think of that on some of the Australian florins from the 1940s as we stepped in there to help them produce coinage. There's so many different places. And so all of a sudden, this is like a $3 or $4 little silver coin, but I'm understanding a lot of world history and context. Similar situation to understanding errors and varieties, understanding the process of how these coins are actually struck and how we get to something like a die variety that's the dies that are used to strike coins actually can have some problems with them. And then that, if they have a problem, they're going to strike coins over and over. So that problem, like a doubled ear on a 1984 penny is going to be repeated in a bunch of different coins that have been struck, or a double die where there's double vision in a 1955 or 1969 San Francisco penny is going to appear on a bunch of different coins. Understanding the nuance of that, or error coins where it's not the die that strikes the coin, but the process of striking it itself, and there's plancha errors, and there's all sorts of different things that can happen when coins get between, into retaining collars, then strike the coins. There's all these different things that can happen. So that's modern US and varieties. There's also so many different evolutions of American coins, and that's something that I feel like there's like a pendulum. I started with like modern stuff. What are the key dates? Like, why in the Panic of 1893 do we slow down minting coins in America? And all of a sudden, our mintages drop off a cliff. And then what happens with the US Treasury hoarding bags and bags of Morgan silver dollars, peace dollars? And why did we stop making Morgan dollars in 1904, bring them back in 1921 after World War I? And apparently, Britain, the enemies, were saying that in India, they didn't have their backing to make and back their currency, and so that's part of why we do the peace dollar. And then how does the die and the design on the peace dollar change in the first year and prior to it being produced? There's like so many different layers. And I got on a bit of a tangent there, but the pendulum swings back towards, okay, what are the stories in American coins? Because recently, the past like 24 months, I've been totally on a world coin kick, an ancient coin kick, covering everything from 600 BC, these origins of civilization right around Greece and sort of Asia Minor, Turkey, and then getting into, well, okay, what's going to happen between the Persians and the Greeks under the Macedonian emperor and generals, Philip II and his son Alexander the Great? What happens when Alexander the Great dies in 323 and the Diadochi split up his empire? What happens with biblical coins and ancient Judea and the Roman procuratorship from about 4 BC to 66 AD, all the way from Augustus, the first Roman emperor, that's Octavian, who consolidates power. 27 BC is sort of his official rule after Julius Caesar dies in 44 BC, killed by Brutus. And then it goes on and on. And then what about all the interesting civilizations, the Kushan and the Yuezhi tribes that take over the Bactrians in the Far East? This is not quite China, but like Central Asia. The Yuezhi tribe is Chinese in origin, and then they go all the way down Central Asia into India. They're these nomadic people, and they form the Kushan Empire, which falls after maybe 2.5 centuries of ruling. So it's not just ancient coins, ancient Greece. There's so many other civilizations. Have you ever heard of the Aksumite civilization? These are sort of first, not but then Christians in Ethiopia, Eritrea, a little bit in sort of like Yemen modern day. Another civilization I had no idea existed. And then we get into the Islamic rule where you see Byzantine coins, which is like, sort of call it, their capital's Constantinople. That's founded by Constantine. I want to say it's like sometime in the 330s. I really need to get my history. It's something I can look up after this video. And so all of a sudden, as there's this Islamic expansion in the early 600s, they take over some Byzantine lands, and they're striking coins in the Byzantine style, but they have Arabic inscriptions, and there's all these different caliphates, the Rashidans and the Abbasids and the Umayyads, and those spread into North Africa and the Berbers and up into the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain. I mean, this goes on and on. As you can see, there's so much history that you can keep on learning. But I'm sure that there are people that know that much about the rare mint marks that were started and founded in 1838. I'm thinking of New Orleans. We know a little bit better, that O mint mark. What about the original Dahlonega D mint mark in North Georgia, or C in Charlotte, North Carolina? They get shut down after the Confederates take over those mints, maybe strike a few coins, but they never come back into existence. And so my point being is that if you can't tell, there's so much growth within coins, but it's not just coins. And that probably is hard to believe after hearing me. I've been talking for 9.5 minutes, and I don't think I've really taken too much time to pause. There's the whole other sort of like business and writing and friendships component. I've met so many fantastic people, whether it's Greg Rohan, who had helped me, and Jim Stouchesteik with my internship at Heritage through Seth Chandler's, the owner of Witter Coin. He had given me an opportunity to go out there, or the ANA and the PNG, who sponsored me to go to summer seminar. There's been so many important friends of mine. Isaiah, who has been in a lot of videos, and Anthony, Alex, Gabe, the rest of the team here at Treasure Town. It's really fascinating. I mean, I've traveled to Europe for coin shows. There's so much interesting world history, and also, though, I can refine my writing, public speaking skills, making a whole kind of understanding social media and the algorithm and some of the business behind that. I feel like there's just so many ways to approach coins. Somewhat rapidly expanding my team, and it's been really interesting to see how different people can fit into that picture so far, and really just keep learning about the world, how business works. I mean, taxes aren't that fun, but it's been an opportunity to learn a lot more there. And so I think just having this overall growth mindset is going to make so much more, like the whole process becomes a lot more interesting within coins and figuring out everything else that goes into it. And so I would really encourage you, if you're starting collecting, hopefully some of what, there's so many areas. There's metals. I haven't talked about metals or tokens or exonumia. I haven't talked about any of the modern silver products or some of the new collectibles that are sort of pushing the frontiers of what I was just looking on Reddit, and I saw some kind of like triple graded collectible around Star Wars, and it combined coins with something else. And there's all types of interesting products that are being put out there. Some of them feel a little bit kitschy, some of them feel like they're going too far, but there's all different things to explore within the world. I haven't even touched, everybody's like, oh, you should start launching like sports cards, or Pokemon cards, or other types of collectibles, and I feel like there's just so much within coins that I'm fascinated by, where I'm going to continue to focus on that for the time being, and probably the pretty solidly near future. But I can't emphasize enough, I mean, one of the guys at Treasure Town, he's putting together some material on sports on coins, and right off the top of my head, he was like, yeah, I want to look into the depiction of sports on coins. So you have some ancient Greek, like Pamphylia. I think that this is like, that's in modern day Turkey, a city that features a lot of wrestlers. They have these like stater is the coin that they have. And then there's also a bunch of interesting kind of Russian and German and Austrian Olympic commemoratives from the mid to late 1900s. They're silver, and they're selling for $200. And a lot of the ancient coins, they're also selling for like $20. And excuse me, the Olympic stuff is selling for $20. So just to say, price points should not be super intimidating to people. And at the same time, you don't really need to be buying the coins to be learning them. I need to learn a lot more about dye studies of early American copper coins. I mean, there's incredible research that's being done. I want to say it's like Gene Journal of, I think it's like early American numismatics. There are just, it goes on, and if you have at least a little bit of a collecting bug, I feel like it's the sort of thing where you can just totally dive in. I want to sort of rework a lot of my content to hit on a bunch of different new collector topics that can be addressed within a somewhat experience. I mean, I have so much more learning to do, but perspective, and then we can also kind of make these videos interesting for more advanced collectors, because I don't think that a new collector should be spoken to as though they know nothing. I feel like drawing in relevant and clear, easy to understand, understandable concepts can make these types of topics really cool to revisit, as well as like learn from in the comments. So if you have any opinions on my video, or perspective, different takes, that kind of thing, would be really interested to hear it. And I look forward to continue delving into and really bringing a lot of the types of things that I'm learning and the content to you all in video form, because these days I think I've been very caught up in the day-to-day running the business and not having enough time to make super solid content, and so I'm trying to reorient that and bring that to you. But this is something I've been thinking a lot about. I was excited to make this video, and hopefully it's helpful and can inspire you to keep going with coins. I am a huge fan of collecting, dealing, and this kind of makes coins even more exciting every day that I get to spend working with them. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another one.